WWDC 2026 introduced some of the biggest updates Apple Home has seen in years. In this video, I'll show you what's new, how Apple Intelligence changes the experience, and whether it's actually worth upgrading. We'll also look at whether Apple Intelligence is a worthwhile addition to Apple Home. When I first installed iOS 27, I have to admit I couldn't see any of the changes Apple had talked about at WWDC. And it wasn't until I realised I needed to update my Home Hub, in my case my Apple TV 4K to the beta program. As you can see, without Apple Intelligence you receive a separate notification for every Apple Home event. With very little detail beyond generic text, you get a separate notification for every Apple Home event and the detail is non-existent, just some generic text. Once I upgraded my Home Hub to iOS 27, Apple Home displayed a What's New screen, introducing Apple Intelligence and the new Home features. The headline features are reduced notifications, attribution, and video summaries. There are also several smaller additions including HomeKit secure video supporting 4K resolution, energy monitoring, and the ability to pause device setup, and the option to describe a shortcut to Siri so it can create a shortcut for you. Thanks to the new update, notifications are now single notifications that update as more sensors, cameras, locks and so on are activated or deactivated. This is particularly useful when you are moving around your garden, driveway or the front of your house. To demonstrate this, I recreated a typical scenario from around my home. Started by leaving my front door where the doorbell picked me up. I moved on to the driveway where my Eufy cam picked me up, and then into the garden and finally into the patio. I then reversed my movements and left an empty box at my front door. Once the activity had finished, Apple Intelligence generated a single notification summarising what had happened, including that an Amazon package had been delivered. This shows how well Apple Intelligence integrates with Apple Home, giving you far more useful notifications than before. Not only do you get live updates as movements are happening, you now get much more detailed summary of what has just happened. Instead of the doorbell camera has detected motion, you now get rich, detailed notifications of what actually happened. For me, this is one of the biggest improvements to Apple Home in years. The improvements don't stop at notifications. Apple Intelligence also enhances your saved recordings. Your cameras can detect what is happening and create a timeline of events based on when motion was detected, giving you a storyline. Below the main video you will see all of your cameras, and below your cameras you will see a timeline, which now includes seconds for greater precision. If your timeline is split into multiple sections, Apple Home has stitched together recordings from different cameras into a single timeline, making it much easier to follow what happened. One issue I noticed during testing is that the driveway camera occasionally doesn't display correctly on the combined timeline. This is clearly a beta bug, but you can still choose an individual camera if needed. If a camera has not detected any motion, you will see a message on the screen notifying you of this. When motion is detected, Apple Home automatically highlights the relevant camera so you immediately know where the activity occurred. The ability to search for clips is now available, as well as giving you more ways to find what you are looking for if you have missed something. You can search for specific dates to review footage on that day and it will pull up the relevant clips, as well as keywords such as animals, vehicles, or recognised brands. I searched for Amazon and it showed me dropping the Amazon box on my doorstep from the earlier clip. This is another example of how useful Apple Intelligence will be in Apple Home. Thanks to Siri now being more helpful, if you have Apple Intelligence enabled, you can also ask Siri to search for specific clips using natural language. However, in my testing, it was very hit and miss and only worked a handful of times. Also, when I asked it to show me the relevant clip, it would only show the live feed of the camera. There is definitely more work needed on Siri's integration within Apple Home, but it is all positive signs for now. Energy monitoring is also coming to Apple Home for supported products, giving you better visibility into your energy usage. Apple also announced support for 4K recordings in HomeKit secure videos. While Apple hasn't confirmed exactly which existing cameras will support it, recent reports suggest changes to the underlying camera architecture. We'll have to wait and see which current cameras receive the upgrade. And lastly, on the features, Apple will now allow you to pause setting up a new device, which is in line with the latest Matter Release 1.6, a welcomed update. Overall, there are still a few bugs to iron out, but that's to be expected from a beta. As iOS 27 matures, I expect Apple Home to become much more polished, but for now it's an encouraging update. If there are any significant updates in the next betas, I will be sure to drop more videos on these. If you have enjoyed this video, please do consider liking this video, commenting and subscribing to my channel for more videos around Apple Home. And remember, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. I'll catch you in the next one.